I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully.
Is there something going on that we're missing?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks? That's the first question I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, fierce.
Yeah.
Tim Walz's carefully polished image just went up in flames. And Tyrus? He didn't pull a single punch. This wasn't some slip of the tongue or a heated outburst. It was calculated, brutal, and aimed with precision. Tyrus went full scorched earth, ripping into Walz's past like he was cracking open a locked vault dot, and what spilled out. Pure chaos, dark secrets, messy contradictions. The kind of stuff Walz has spent years trying to bury under spin and photo ops. But once Tyrus let loose, there was no stuffing it back in the box. No carefully worded statement, no staged press conference. Nothing could undo the damage. Walz has nowhere left to run. And for the first time, nothing left to hide.
It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the out of him back. This is a weak, cruel man that takes it out and...
Tyrus didn't just roll out of bed, sip his coffee, and casually toss Tim Walz's name into the fire. No, he woke up, saw the headlines piling up, and decided in that moment, enough is enough. And when Tyrus says enough, it doesn't sound like a polite objection. It hits like a steel chair to the face. It's loud. It's raw. It's the kind of verbal body slam that shakes the entire ring. He wasn't just calling out Walz. He was declaring open season on the polished image Walz has spent years protecting. Chaos, fireworks. Oh yeah, they came in spades. And once Tyrus set it off, there was no controlling the explosion.
Masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I mean, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
How do you fight it?
And well, this notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their.
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as the hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to manhood. You can't.
If you're enjoying this takedown, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Because right there, you can see it. Tyrus is going off on Tim Walz, and people are stunned. Not because Tyrus is loud, he always is, but because the spotlight suddenly swung onto Minnesota's relatable dad turned governor, and that polished, carefully guarded image. It started to splinter. Not with a little scratch, not with a hairline crack, but with the kind of collapse you see in a Walmart parking lot full of potholes after a brutal winter. The shine is gone, the mask is slipping, and for the first time, people are seeing Walz without the PR polish.
Yeah. A teacher snatches the bully's ass up. Yeah. Come sit with me. That's what I know. Someone's bullying. Oh, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy who can't remember his speeches. I don't know what the hell was in the water in that White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak. He can't speak. Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show. And I said this in the pod. He's a clown without a...
Tim Walz has been packaged to America as the calm. Regular guy, the kind of neighbor who'd help you move a couch, wave from behind his lawnmower, maybe even show up to the church picnic with a big bowl of potato salad. But Tyrus, he isn't taking a bite. He's poking it with a fork, giving it the side eye, and saying, "This doesn't taste like authenticity. This tastes like politics left out in the sun." And that's the gut punch. Because once you see the act for what it is, you can't unsee it. The charm, the dad jokes, the aw shucks grin, they stop looking like quirks of a genuine guy and start looking like stage props in a carefully scripted performance. Tyrus ripped the lid off the casserole, and what's inside doesn't smell like honesty, it smells like spin.
I feel bad for Elon. I would be furious if I was him. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, I would, if they were like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like, old Timmy, I want to fight him so bad.
I want to fight him so bad. That's where the first punch lands. Tyrus doesn't see Tim Walz as the lovable small-town everyman. He sees him as a slick operator, someone who mastered the art of smiling for the cameras while sliding new policies under the door like a hotel bill you never agreed to pay. On paper, Walz's bio reads like a Hallmark movie. Teacher, football coach, veteran, champion of small-town values. The kind of guy you'd expect to star in a State Farm commercial. But once he got into office, the script didn't match the performance. And that's where Tyrus digs in, because nothing fires people up more than the gap between what politicians say and what they do. And Walz? His gaps are massive wider than any Minnesota pothole in the dead of winter. That's when Tyrus starts swinging receipts. Not with binders or spreadsheets, but with a hammer of comedy. He roasts Walz's greatest hits, like the COVID lockdowns where somehow it was legal to buy booze at a gas station but illegal to sit in a church pew. And he doesn't stop there. Tyrus drags out the contradictions, the flip-flops, the inconsistencies stacked up over the years like a collection of Pokemon cards. Only this deck doesn't make Walz a hero. It makes him a punchline.
My tweets, my DMs, like just one arm, and I just want to slap the. He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were gonna go after someone man to man, hit him with a fact. Hit him with something real.
Yes.
You don't have anything. And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, hey, Tim, you want a job? He would take it. Because that's what spineless, he would, and when he was questioned, he was like, I was just holding him in account. You know, I respect him and I'm so happy to be working for X. He is the worst player on their team and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early so he can't be a factor later.
1 minute Walz is for this, the next he's against that, whatever way the political wind happens to blow. And if you think Tyrus is letting that slide, think again. He doesn't just call it a flip-flop, he paints Walz like a full-blown circus act. Auditioning for Cirque du Soleil with the number of backflips he's pulled just to stay politically comfortable. Honestly, if Walz ever quit politics, he could probably land a spot in an acrobatics troupe and still stick the landing. It's that ridiculous. It's like a politician swearing up and down that he shops at Target while being chauffeured there in a black SUV worth more than your mortgage. The disconnect isn't just big, it's so wide you could march the entire Minnesota Vikings, offensive line through it, and still have room for the mascot to dance. And here's where it gets juicier. Tyrus doesn't stop at the contradictions or the policy gymnastics. He zooms in on the performance itself, the rehearsed smiles, the carefully timed jokes, the relatable dad routine that looks less like authenticity and more like community theater. To Tyrus, Walz isn't governing. He's auditioning.
Rachel Levine, look, he has a sports coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I
You've
won't
done that
now,
many
Tyrus.
times. No, and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by this. It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes. It's the workers.
Because let's be honest, politics today is as much performance as it is substance. And Walz, he knows how to play the role. He's got the tone, the look, the ordinary dad vibe rehearsed down to a science. But to Tyrus, it's all smoke and mirrors. He compares it to watching a magician at a kid's birthday party. Everyone else is gasping at the trick, but he's the guy in the back yelling, check his sleeve. That kind of blunt honesty hits because once the illusion is exposed, you can't unsee it. Suddenly, Walz's regular guy image doesn't look like authenticity. It looks like the political version of an Instagram filter. The first cracks showed during the pandemic. Closing gyms while liquor stores thrived. People saw the hypocrisy instantly, but the real spotlight came after George Floyd's death. The streets were burning, businesses collapsing, fear spreading, and leadership was needed like oxygen. Instead, Walz looked hesitant, confused dash, paralyzed dot, and Tyrus doesn't hold back. He paints Walz frozen in the chaos, standing with a garden hose at a 5-alarm fire, praying the wind shifts before the flames close in. It wasn't leadership. It was survival theater, and Tyrus makes sure nobody forgets it.
That's a big red flag. Whenever you meet someone and they have to give you their resume,
yes.
and then as soon as they talk, you're like, that's why you gave me your resume.
Yeah, because it doesn't speak for itself.
You suck.
Yeah. It's like when people have their PhD on their Twitter handle. It's like, you know, this person's completely bonkers.
And their pronouns.
Yes. Are you mad, though, Tyrus, that, like, beards have been kind of co-opted by beta males like Tyler?
No, because
Watch what you say.
it's like all. Wait, hold on. Watch what I say. I will around, stick my hand up your back, and make you my puppet for the rest.
And that's where the sarcasm peaks. Tyrus doesn't just say Walz failed, he frames it like a sitcom gone horribly wrong. Imagine your neighbor swearing he'll fix the fence, only to show up with duct tape, chewing gum, and a shrug. That's the picture Tyrus paints, and once it's in your head, it doesn't leave Dot by the time he's finished. Walz isn't just a politician with a couple of stumbles. He's a walking contradiction, wrapped in a cardigan of folksy charm, praying nobody notices the policies sloppily taped underneath. The brilliance here isn't just in the words, it's in Tyrus's delivery. He's not some stiff analyst rattling off stats and spreadsheets. He's that loud uncle at Thanksgiving who finally snaps, blurts out the truth, and tells everyone the turkey is bone-dry. Walz, of course, loves big promises. Free This expanded that opportunities for everyone. On paper, Minnesota starts to sound like a Nordic paradise. Crystal lakes, happy loons, and affordable healthcare for every goldfish in the state. But in reality, the execution looks more like a middle school group project where nobody studied, the PowerPoint is half blank, and the kid with stage fright gets shoved in front of the class to wing it. And that's exactly what Tyrus zeroes in on. The yawning gap between the glossy sales pitch and the clumsy delivery. The promises sound like a Netflix trailer. The results feel more like a straight-to-DVD flop.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, I feel sorry for him. But they made a bad...
That's where Tyrus really finds his rhythm. He points out how Walz talks like the hero in a Hallmark movie, but governs like a guy who lost the script halfway through and started ad-libbing his way through the plot. It's politics as karaoke. You recognize the tune, but by the second verse he's mumbling, staring at the screen, and praying the crowd is too distracted by the free popcorn to notice Dot take taxes, for example. Walz loves to cast